Monday, June 7th on NBC.
Forecasting what could be a busy fire season. Good evening. I'm Susan Taylor.
I'm Marty Levin. A warning tonight about the upcoming fire season. Firefighters say get your home and your family ready for what could be a rough season. This comes as firefighters battled a blaze that threatened homes and a school in Poway. Tony Shin is here with details.
And Marty, that fire only burned about 8 acres, but firefighters say it's a sign that the brush in our county is very dry and ready to burn. This is what residents at Parkview Village Apartments saw when they looked out their back windows. Flames chewing through thick brush on a nearby hillside. And firefighters battling from above and below as they try to keep the blaze away from the apartments and a nearby school, both of which were evacuated.
You know, there was flames everywhere. You know, it's pretty bad.
I'm really glad that the fire departments were on it so quick to get it put out as fast as they did, because it could have spread really fast.
We are currently staffed with 28 fire engines.
Earlier today, state and local fire officials warned residents to be ready for a potential firestorm this summer.
If any of you have been out to the eastern portions of the county, the abundant grass crop is evident. A crop we haven't seen for many years in the desert.
Fire officials want homeowners to make sure they have defensible space. And if a fire does threaten your home, don't stick around and try to fight it. Just leave.
Get your important papers together. Get your communications plan with your family, your repatriation plan with your family together before the threat.
Some residents are already following the advice.
I'm going to have a little bag that's prepared with, you know, just immediate supplies that you can just grab and go and not even have to think about it.
Now, the fire in Poway didn't damage any structures and no one got hurt, but tonight investigators are still looking for a cause. Susan?
Thanks, Tony. Fire destroys the roof of a North Park home. It began at about 5:30 this afternoon in the 4300 block of Alabama Street. You can see the smoke billowing out of a hole in that home's roof. Fire crews were able to knock it down in about 25 minutes. Nobody was in the house at the time. That's the good news. Structural damage is estimated at about $50,000. A man trying to remodel his home instead finds a hand grenade in his shed. It happened at the intersection of Central Avenue and Dwight Street in City Heights this afternoon. Tonight, Mari Payton has reaction from that homeowner.
Were you afraid?
Of course I was. I was nervous.
Coy Bowie and his wife moved into the City Heights home less than a week ago. It had been vacant over a year, and Bowie was in the process of renovating it.
I was breaking down the shed because, as you can see, it's all termites, and that piece came off.
That's when he found something hidden, something unusual, an old hand grenade. The homeowner found the grenade right here in his shed. He knew he had to call 911, but first notified his wife.
And she told me not to touch it, but I did. I tried to grab it.
Did you know it was a grenade right away?
Yes. Yeah, I saw it on a movie, so. It's green, it was rusted. I guess it's old, so it's, yeah, with a pin on.
The bomb squad responded in a matter of minutes.
No, mommy, go over there, go over there.
Bowie and his neighbors were evacuated. An investigator says the military-style weapon was likely used in the Vietnam War. They treated it as if it were live and safely defused it.
I hope they only blew up the shed, but not the house. Yeah, saving the trouble of breaking it down.
Oceanside police are asking for your help in identifying a man who may have tried to abduct a 14-year-old girl. The girl was walking to Lincoln Middle School a week ago when a man approached her in a beige sedan. The suspect blocked the girl's path and tried to get her into his car. She was able to escape. This is the latest sketch of the suspect, dark-skinned, in his 40s, deep creases in his cheeks. If you have any information, please contact the Oceanside Police Department. Surprising admission from a parolee accused of assaulting 3 women in a gas lamp last month. Robert Taylor pleaded guilty to the attacks at his preliminary hearing today. The judge immediately sentenced Taylor to 55 years to life. He'd been out on parole only 5 days when he assaulted 2 women in separate hotel rooms April 1st, then attacked another woman in the bathroom at Fleming's Steakhouse.
If it seems like you have heard a lot more about earthquakes in the past month and a half, it's because we've had a lot of earthquakes. There have been hundreds of smaller quakes following that big Easter Day quake in Baja. Greg Bledsoe is here with more on what this might mean.
Yeah, Susan, there have been more than 50 quakes just today. In fact, 2 over the past hour. So does this mean that chances have increased for a major quake here in San Diego?
Right. For SDSU geology professor Thomas Rockwell, it's been a busy but fascinating past 6 weeks.
From this point all the way over to here was displacement in the Easter Day earthquake.
He says the aftershocks from the Easter quake could go on for months after the initial mess is cleaned up. In fact, according to the USGS website, there have been more than 600 quakes in the region just over the past week. Most too small to feel here in San Diego, but some are now migrating to other faults around Southern California.
When you have that much motion, on the crust of the earth, that produces stresses on other nearby faults.
Faults like the San Andreas and San Jacinto, which are due for a large quake. But what about the fault line that poses one of the biggest threats to San Diego?
Right down through downtown, across the bay.
Professor Rockwell says the Rose Canyon Fault was not likely affected by the Easter quake, but in a paper he released this week, Rockwell says the Rose Canyon Fault could also be entering a renewed period of activity.
So the question is, did we just enter another cluster? And if we did, we might expect then earthquake activity more frequently than the long-term average.
A long-term average that could be anywhere from days to centuries.
It's more likely to be several hundred years from now than tomorrow. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't be prepared for an earthquake, right?
Professor Rockwell says the last major quake on the Rose Canyon fault line was between 300 and 400 years ago, which he said could possibly signal the start of a cluster. Marty, Susan.
Thank you, Greg. Surprising development involving the Fort Hood shooter and a former San Diego Muslim leader.
Our online media partner, thevoiceofsandiego.org, says a Senate committee has subpoenaed San Diego FBI agents in its investigation of whether the government mishandled information in the case.
Army Major Nidal Hassan is accused of murdering 13 colleagues in the shooting rampage last November. The committee is looking into emails that indicate Hassan was communicating with Anwar al-Awlaki, who recently called on Muslims to murder Americans. He also once led a local mosque and was a spiritual advisor to the San Diego-based September 11th hijackers. Al-Awlaki is currently wanted by the CIA.
An effort tonight by some North County teachers to end school budget cuts. Teachers from several Escondido schools gathered at a meeting of the Escondido Unified School Board. They were calling for an end to budget cuts that have caused many teachers to take reduced salaries. Teachers say there needs to be more accountability by the school board.
You want to take away our rights to maintain an effective association, and you want to take away our system of checks and balances. It seems a reason that the next item on the list of takebacks will include the shirts off of our backs, and so I'm going to go ahead and give you my shirt, and either symbolically or literally if you want it.
The protest was called No Shirts Off Our Backs, and as you can see, teachers symbolically took the shirts off and they gave them to the school board.
Going in for the kill as soon as we could learn if that plan to flood the oil well in the Gulf was successful.
Facebook's big fix, the changes it's making after receiving tons of complaints.
Puffing away at the tender age of 2, this toddler's dad says he sees nothing wrong with his son's smoking addiction.
And this is a farewell decades in the making. A fitting tribute to Marty on your final broadcast.
And as all, an open mic. Marty, it's been a real pleasure working with you. All of us here at night appreciate you being with us for all this time. Resolve 3, please, and push. I want to thank you. It's been a real honor.
Thanks, Mike.
Godspeed. Roll.
And a new J, take cover. Kathy Griffin has arrived. Plus, it's Kevin's final week. Yes, it's going to get emotional. And that Dalai Lama is a laugh riot. Then Jimmy and Jake Gyllenhaal get down. New Tonight Show, new late night. Tonight on NBC.
Tomorrow at 5 a.m. on NBC 739 News in the Morning.
Your children on the web.
4 smart rules to help protect them on social networking sites, plus why posting only what's happened in the past can keep them safe.
Plus our traffic and weather on the Chimes tomorrow at 5 a.m.
Politician Mary Salas cast the deciding vote in the state assembly to give early release to over 5,600 felons, including 560 violent felons released into our neighborhoods without any law enforcement supervision at all. The deciding vote to release violent felons convicted of crimes including assault with a deadly weapon, domestic violence, and attacks on children and the elderly. Mary Salas, not keeping our communities safe.
Do you want a governor who has the same position on illegal immigration as the president of Mexico?
I strongly disagree with the recently adopted law in Arizona.
Meg Whitman does.
But as I have said, if that law were to come before me, I would oppose it.
I support what's going on in Arizona. Amnesty is a huge magnet, and it's a mistake. As governor, I'm going to take steps to address the problems of illegal immigration once and for all.
Maybe tomorrow at the earliest before it is known if that well that has spewed millions of gallons of oil into the Gulf of Mexico has been plugged.
Since early this afternoon, BP engineers have been pumping heavy mud into the well. It's hoped the fluid will overpower the geyser of oil that's being shot into the sea. For now, BP says everything is going as planned for what they call the top kill technique. It is the first time they've ever done it this deep underwater.
And ultimately, we'll finish the job by pumping cement at some point. We expect these activities to be complete sometime over the next 24 hours, but I would stress that this could take longer. We're going to make sure we do the job right and thoroughly.
Engineers say there's a 60 to 70% chance the top kill will be successful, and even if it does get plugged right away, there is still the huge oil cleanup to worry about. The Coast Guard says 100 miles of Louisiana coastline is already being hit by that oil.
The Senate Armed Services Committee is expected to vote tomorrow on overturning the military's Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy on gays. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff told graduating Air Force cadets today they need to support a changing military. Admiral Mike Mullen did not address the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy specifically. He spoke generally about officers needing the strength of character to support whatever decisions are made. A plan in Congress would repeal the policy but still allow the military to decide when and how to implement changes. A Pentagon report on the impact of a repeal is due December 1st. Meantime, the Commandant of the Marine Corps has asked Congress to put off its planned vote on lifting Don't Ask, Don't Tell. It is one of tomorrow's headlines, making news tonight with our media partner, the North County Times. In a letter to Senator John McCain, General James Conway says lawmakers should wait until that Defense Department study is complete. Senator McCain is the ranking Republican on the Senate Armed Services Committee and has expressed reluctance to changing the Clinton-era policy. General Conway writes that an, quote, organized and systematic approach, end quote, to studying the issue is the best way forward. You can read more about his letter in tomorrow's edition of the North County Times.
Art Linkletter, a TV icon of the 50s and 60s who had strong ties to San Diego, died today at his home in Los Angeles. He hosted the popular shows People Are Funny and House Party, which is one of the longest-running variety shows. It debuted on radio in 1944 and was on CBS from 1952 to 1969. The best-known feature, daily interviews with school children. Linkletter collected sayings from the children into Kids Say the Darndest Things, which sold millions. He got his first taste of broadcasting while attending what was then San Diego State College in the 1930s. Art Linkletter was 97 years old.
The FDA is updating the label of a popular weight loss drug after several reports of liver damage. 13 cases of severe liver injury have been linked to the over-the-counter weight loss drug Ally and the prescription version Xenical. 3 patients needed liver transplants, 2 died. The FDA has not yet determined if the weight loss drug caused the liver damage. Until further research is done, manufacturers are changing the label to warn about the risk of liver problems. Facebook is making more changes to its privacy controls after getting an earful from users. The complaint centered on the complexity of privacy controls and the information sharing. Today, the CEO of Facebook said the privacy controls will be much simpler, allowing users to choose to share information with just family or just friends.
Video of a toddler smoking a cigarette is sparking outrage as it goes viral around the world. The 2-year-old lives in Indonesia and was spotted smoking by a reporter. It then went on YouTube, and you know what that means. The boy's dad gave him his first cigarette when he was 18 months old and says he's not worried about his son's health. He admits the boy throws tantrums when he's refused a cigarette. The Central Statistics Agency shows 25% of Indonesian children aged 3 to 15 have tried cigarettes. 3% become active smokers.
Should be warming up for the Memorial Day weekend. Here's Fritz.
Thank you. I've never done a forecast in racking sobs before, but I'll try tonight. Well, we're going to get rid of this ugliness in a couple of days, and people will be allowed to return to the pre-summer weather that they really love. It's getting warm. For those of you who need to thaw out, oh boy, it's coming with a vengeance over the weekend. Clouds and fog tonight. So far, we're partly cloudy to mostly cloudy around the county. We're still going to have a cool day Thursday, even cooler than we were today in some spots, and then it'll be a warmer weekend. By Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be up above 15 degrees above where we were today. We're up into the 50s, low 50s to upper 50s everywhere. Claremont 58, the same for Miramar, 58 degrees at El Cajon, and we're 54 at East Lake. Down here in the gas lamp, about 60 degrees. We'll go 50 at Ramona, that's up 3 degrees from last night. 56 North County Coast along with Fallbrook. Low clouds and fog developing later. I don't know that it's an organized marine layer overnight tonight because the opportunity for the storms just to the north to kind of blow out the low stratus-deck, the marine layer. But we're mid and upper 60s tomorrow. We're still 5 to 8 degrees below normal, and we don't see a lot of significant change for Friday, maybe slightly earlier, clearing from the marine layer, 71 degrees at El Cajon. And here we go with the extended outlook, and it's going to be cool for a couple of days, and then up above 80 degrees over the weekend. Marty, it's a great opportunity to say you're one of the great pros of our business, and I've planted a sapling in my backyard. I will water it and nurture it, and I will call it Marty.
That's the best. Thank you, Fritz. How do you top that?
I can't top that. We have a live studio audience. This is really cool. I love it. So if the Padres score, you can yell and scream. Padres were a pitch away from a 1-0 win over the Cardinals, but the Cards scratched out a run off Heath Bell with 2 outs in the 9th inning, so it was on to extra innings. Kevin Correa pitched his heart out, held the Cardinals scoreless, even though he allowed 5 hits. He walked 6 batters over 6 innings, got Matt Holliday to get out of a bases-loaded jam in the 5th inning. Padres also left the bases loaded in the 5th. They finally scored in the 8th inning. Matt Stairs did something. Pinch hit Gapper. Come on, crowd. Yeah. Yeah. Woohoo! Adrian chugging on home. Bell pitched the 9th. He was 1 pitch away from his 14th save of the season when... Oh, very good. Ryan Ludwig with the base knock. So it's on to extra innings. That's where they are right now. Still tied in the 13th inning with the Padres batting. Meanwhile, more magic in Orlando. Woo! Dwight Howard looks like he's ready for a heavyweight fight, and at times this game resembled a heavyweight fight. The Magic hit 8 of their first 12 three-pointers. It's hard to see, but at the bottom of the screen there, Howard elbows big baby Glenn Davis, and Davis goes down, had a concussion. He finally got up. Watch this. He staggers to his feet, but he had to leave the game. Marquise Daniels also left with a concussion. Kendrick Perkins was ejected. This is amazing. So Orlando went on a win at 113-92. No NBA team has rallied from a 3-0 deficit in the conference finals, but Orlando is halfway there. Chargers minicamp is underway. Oh, thank you. First chance for the top draft pick, Ryan Matthews, to line up with the veterans. He admitted he was a little nervous, but he looked good, and the reviews from the other veterans were very, very good. Fab 4 of restricted veteran free agents wasn't there. Neither was Antonio Gates, with an injured foot. He's in North Carolina having a doctor give him a different second opinion, I guess. Doesn't sound real good. Kevin Allison also wasn't there. He was told not to show up by the head coach, Norv Turner. I have plenty of time. Can I say a few words?
No.
We're all wearing borrowed ties. Actually, these are from the Levine collection, and every reporter you've seen on the air tonight has been wearing a Levine collection tie.
Confiscated, not borrowed.
Nice of you. You invited us up to your office to pick through your remains.
And you took the good ones.
Coming up, we're going to say the official goodbye to Marty.
Want the truth about loose slots? Valley View Casino is home to San Diego's only certified loose slots, as certified by Strictly Slots Magazine, the slot authority. Want to play on the loosest slots? Then visit Valley View Casino.
I love you, Valley View.
The buffet is #1. I can pretty much eat around the world just by showing up in the buffet.
The place is clean. If you like seafood, they've got it.
We win Best Buffet every year.
If you like steak, they've got it.
I love the lobster.
Live Maine lobster flown in daily.
Crab legs.
Prime rib.
Chinese food.
Oysters on the half shell. Chocolate fudge cake. Fresh fruit tarts.
I have to pick something different every day just to try it all.
Plus, when you join the Players Club, your first lobster buffet is free.
At Kia, we're proud to have gone where no other car company has gone before. The Kia Forte offers impressive standard horsepower with fuel efficiency, class-leading space, class-leading standard advanced technology, and class-leading standard safety features, and was awarded a top safety pick by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. When you add it all up, the Kia Forte is the obvious choice over the Corolla and Civic. And right now, get 0% APR plus up to $1,500 in savings.
Give me the
So you got?
Prince of Persia, rated PG-13, Friday.
California is in the worst financial crisis in decades.
Meg Whitman has the values, the strength, and the skill to lead California back to greatness.
The governor's race has only one real fiscal conservative who will protect taxpayers and preserve Proposition 13.
A leader with the integrity and proven skills to bring California back.
Meg Whitman.
Meg Whitman.
Meg Whitman.
Strong.
Fiscal conservative.
A leader.
So this is the new car?
Yeah, here she is.
It's great.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Doors would have been nice. They weren't in my budget.
Oh, biggie.
Hey, you want to hop in, go for a ride?
Oh. Be easy, right?
Yeah.
Settling for less is not smart. What is smart is getting more car for your money at CarMax. For the money you would spend on a stripped-down new car, you could get a fully loaded, guaranteed quality used car at CarMax. Now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax, the way car buying should be.
Padres just won. Jerry Hairston Jr. Home run, walk-off home run to left center.
More proof that Marty can do it all.
Do it all.
Yeah.
The studio is filled with everybody from the newsroom here tonight. That's why you hear all the folks hooting and hollering. But as you have heard tonight, we are saying goodbye officially to you.
Oh.
You're leaving? Are you retiring?
I'm not going very far.
Marty, who is retiring, this is his last broadcast with us, and Marty has been so much a part of your life and ours that we wanted to take a look back. So we asked our master storyteller, our About San Diego guy, Ken Kramer, and our extraordinary video editor, Donna Stewart, to create this tribute to you.
It's been Marty Levine Day today, his last day at NBC 739, designated by the county, and you look at him, he's so modest, like he doesn't know how much he deserves it. What a career, from college to commercial radio to TV news in Seattle.
They say Jimmy Carter has won the presidency, unseating Gerald Ford in one of the closest elections in modern political history.
Washington, D.C., and back to San Diego. He's been at this a long time. And just lately, with retirement and all, he's been getting kidded a little about that.
I remember those grainy images on my parents' black and white television set when you were explaining how that tiny spacecraft passing over our nation with its flashing light was called Sputnik, and it was nothing to fear. You were already old then, and I looked up to you.
He's been getting kidded about a lot of little Marty things that at home you couldn't see, like Laz's scripts. The instant after they were read on camera, Marty would always compulsively throw them away.
So I would sit here and slide my script over, and so Marty would throw it away. And then I'd take the next script and slide it over. All of a sudden, Marty would throw it away. It was all very tidy.
He was also a cold guy. That is, he liked the studio really cold.
It would be 31 degrees in the studio, and you would come in and start sweating and talking about how hot it is. And I used to wonder, what in the world is wrong with this fool?
Hey, everybody, Marty's retiring.
Yes, he's heard the lines about being on TV forever, the only San Diego anchor, by the way, to have worked at all 3 major network stations.
Good evening. Here's what's happening at 5.
We can joke about it, but he is the consummate professional.
His home became NBC 739, and he became a part of our television family for 23 years.
I've watched him since I was a kid. My parents loved him.
Pioneered a freewheeling live studio audience show called Third Thursday. Took us to political conventions, snake-infested tropical rainforests, the Olympic Games. And every night, every broadcast, he informed, sometimes reassured us.
Fires since I've been here, earthquakes, economic crisis. Marty's the guy who makes you feel like it's going to be okay.
The city is basically saying, if you don't have to go to work tomorrow, don't do it.
Helped us through the worst.
This has been an awful day in a number of places.
And the best of times, like the 1995 Chargers going to the Super Bowl.
This is being sent out, we're told, by satellite all over the country.
It's so easy to be cynical about television people, but community leaders, viewers, and we, his colleagues, all respected Marty and knew he was different.
He takes so much information, processes it quickly, boils it down to the very heart of what you need to know, and then that's what he'll tell you. And it's just a remarkable, remarkable ability.
This isn't a guy who's trying to be an anchorman. This is a guy who is.
A guy who really did think of his co-workers as friends.
and he'll go off and see a zombie flick with, you know, the camera guys, or, you know, like, he's one of the boys and he likes hanging out with them.
So Marty, on this, your last night, please believe you do deserve it.
Thank you very much.
Marty.
And know how much your city and your co-workers will miss you.
It's been a great time, and I've enjoyed every minute of it.
All my props to you, big guy.
Thank you.
You're the best.
We'll miss you, Marty.
God bless, Marty. Good luck.
And what I wish for you now is nothing, my friend, nothing but good times, the sun in your face, the wind at your back, and the temperature set real low on the air conditioner.
When Marty was impressed with someone or something, he would always say, that's the real deal. He's the real deal. But Marty, that's what we've always said about you. Because you are the real deal.
Why, Marty?
Looks like I forgot my coat.
No.
That was really nice, wasn't
Isn't that nice? Fritz, it's nice of you to have that sapling growing in your
it?
backyard.
Yes.
I just want you to know that when you're up there in Alpine at the Royal Palm Estates for Active Seniors, that I will think of you every day. Honestly, I want to tell you, you are seriously, you are one of the smartest people I've ever worked with, and what a great pleasure, sir. Enjoy your retirement.
Thank you. It's hard to follow up when you start with a punchline. Thank you very much, Fritz.
My pleasure.
Fritz reminds me so much of Bob Dale, who loved Marty. Marty, you were a big part of this whole thing with Bob and all. You know, it's been said before, you are the smartest guy we've ever worked with, one of the smartest guys in our community, and a guy who really cares about his community, and that's really what sets Marty apart. We had dinner over at the Panda Inn tonight, and Marty's fortune cookie was, plan to have some fun. I'm sure you will. I started with Marty 20 years ago here. Before that, we worked together at Channel 8, and I was awful when I started. You were so patient, so caring, so helpful, so kind. Thank you for your help. I'm a better broadcaster from having worked with you, but I'm also a better person, and I thank you so much for that.
Thanks.
Now I know Susan's going to cry, and if I keep up, I will.
No,
too. So
no, I'm not.
Thank you for everything.
You're welcome. Thank you.
For years, Marty said that he was retiring, and usually every December he would come in and he would beat his head against the wall and say, "That's it." And then he would take a few days off, and then he would come back for another year. But this year's different. We have finally come to this moment, 38 years in the making. We all knew that it was coming, but we could never really prepare for it. So thank you, my friend, for your professionalism, for your integrity, for your dedication, your commitment, your loyalty, your unwillingness to compromise your standards.
Thanks.
The people who work at the station and the folks out there watching, the people that we serve, have all been better served because of what you have accomplished and what you have contributed to the texture and the fabric of this community during your career. It has been such a joy sitting next to you for these many years. So tomorrow morning when you awaken and you realize, wow, I don't have to go to work today, remember that you left on your own terms and you left at the top of your game. And also remember, we know where you live, and we'll come pester you from time to time. And tomorrow night, when you are not in this chair, you will still be here in our hearts. So, on behalf of all of us, thank you, Marty Levine, for a job so very well done.
Oh, thank you. I get to talk now, I think.
You do.
This is the world's longest two-shot.
No, going away now.
I really wanted to say something profound at this moment, but that would involve finding a quote from somebody who's really profound. This has been wonderful. Susan and I have been together for 14 years at this desk, or one that looks kind of like it. And we've been friends much longer than that. Laz and I first worked together in 1983, and of course we were all much younger then. But I think the best part of this entire career has been San Diego and the people who live here and the people who work here at NBC. I, like Susan and Laz, chose to live here, and it was a great decision. Over the years, your calls, mail, now emails have always gotten my attention. I tried to answer every one. This is not true of those people who sent nasty emails and don't bother to sign them. Cannot give you much attention on that. And please, it's the computer age. We know your address. On a personal note, I have an opinion about almost everything, from the Senate to the SEALs, but it's never been my job to suggest that I knew better than you did or offer that opinion. When I did interview programs, I was also most satisfied when both sides of the argument felt I was too hard on them. That usually meant I did a good job with both. There is a lot of noise in the media world right now. Try to listen through it. Without both sides being heard, it's impossible to make an informed decision. Thanks to all of you for being there all this time, viewers and coworkers. Thank you for your support. I hope that I and all of us here have returned it in kind.
Come on over. Come on over. Thank you all so much for watching.
Oh. That's good. Yes, it is.
Heather, oh!
No problem, no problem.
No problem.